Good evening, and welcome to another CPM1 candidate interview. Tonight I'm going to be talking to Charlie Eden, campaigning as Tech Dera.
Yep.
Charlie, would you like to give yourself a little bit of an introduction?
Well, I'm Charlie Eden. I'm Drake Eden from EVE Online, and then Delta Eden or Tech Dera from Dust. I've played EVE for pretty much the full decade, and then I'm a big fan of first-person shooters, and that's what brought me to Dust.
So, Charlie, what kind of roles do you like playing in Dust?
I sort of started out as a Logi, because in pretty much all the games I've played that weren't other FPSs, I preferred to go just as the support role and help other people out, tell them what to do, and like having little minions going around for me. And from that, and then the respecs came for Uprise, and I was like, oh, I'll do something else. And so I've been working towards, like, I fall in love with, like, everything Amar. So now I'm Amar Commandos, Amar Assault, Amar Logi, Amar Weaponry, and then soon Amar Scouts. And Tech Dera is a combination of that and from the Templar event, which I did, which was where we were given a character with 2 mil SP, no money, just the Templar BPOs, and we're told to go and get slaughtered by everyone else. And I found, like, it ridiculously fun having no money, no skills, base suit. So Tech Dera was basically, I got the 500 KSP for a new thingy, for a new character, put it all into pistols, put 2 pistols on a militia suit, and just, I'd slaughter every match because pistols are amazing and need to be nerfed, I think. Currently I'm swinging towards Commandos. Don't know why, the reload bonus is the reason I went into it, because 40% reload when you have that maxed and the reload speed skill maxed on the weapons is just ridiculous. It just puts out a ridiculous amount of firepower, but everyone else, a lot of people seem to hate the Commando because it's quite a bad suit, but it's pretty fun.
Well, it's certainly getting buffs. I know it's getting extra slots in the upcoming patch, so...
Extra slots, and now it's becoming more armor focused now than most armor focused, which is good because its shield regen stats were terrible.
Oh yeah, it's like 10 a second, isn't it?
10 a minute or something, yeah.
Yeah. So I guess my next question would be, you've done events, so you've done stuff like you did the Templar event, you were one of the people who got picked. I know you don't do as much, or you do some faction warfare, right?
I've recently not done as much, but I did enjoy the faction warfare for a lot of the time. I started really doing faction warfare as Tech Dera because I didn't want to go into academy matches and like stomp new players, because that's just, it's not fun for me because I know the new players. It's not fun for them because they're getting stomped. So the only way I could do was just go straight into faction warfare, and it was just really fun, and that's kind of how I started. And the new patch is quite nice when Minotaur aren't AWOXing us all the time.
Is there anything else? I know you played in the oh god, I can't even remember what their website was called.
The
Trainwreck tournament.
I'm not going to comment on the train wreck part, but the Urgent Fury Prime League tournament, I was picked up as just basically to make the numbers up for Team No Free Pass, which was 99% Eon and then 1% me. And I ended up playing the majority of matches. Everyone in the team was really cool. We melded together really well, and we won. We won 93% of our matches. That's including no-shows, which accounted for a large amount. And we won that, which was pretty cool. And I still keep in touch with them.
And I believe you also ran your own tournament?
Yeah, I ran 2 tournaments so far. There was the Chromosome Cup back in Chromosome the week before Uprising started, and that was with Kane Sparrow, who is currently on the CPM. And that was because the corporation battles of Chromosome were going to be removed in favour of Planetary Conquest, so we got that out as fast as we could to let people have a go. And we only got 14s for that, but people really enjoyed it. And last year, myself and CCP Logibro, just after the Prime League tournament, I ran the Squad Cup, which had... we did it over 3 areas. We did it over North America, over Asia Pacific, Oceania, and Europe. We had a really nice amount of teams from all of them. I should know them off by heart, but it was something along the lines of 6 teams in Oceania and Asia, and about 25-ish average on North America and EU. And that ran almost flawlessly apart from the few sign-up issues, and people are waiting for the next one, and we will do the next one hopefully soonish with Logibro, but he and myself are busy at the moment.
Yeah. I mean, there was something like over 500 people who entered. I remember that.
Last I checked, it was like 471 legitimate the name tags, dust mercs that were on the rosters
Okay.
across all of them.
So you mentioned you were working with Logibro there. What kind of relationship do you have with CCP right now?
It did start out in EVE, where I kind of wanted to be on the CSM, and I was never old enough, or I didn't have the time, or I then got bored of EVE, which was more recently. But I've always had the opportunity to talk with CCP every so often. Like I flew with, I was in CCP Rise's Corp Club Bear for all the 4 days, and that was quite funny. And I've always had a chance to say, like, maybe you should look at this, maybe you should look at that. Here's a cool idea. And then with Dust, it was much easier because as it was, I was in via the closed beta in Mordu's private trials, getting in touch with CCP and the devs was much, much easier. So I've been in contact quite a lot with CCP. Recently, CCP Saberwing, CCP Logibro, and then before that was Remnant and Wolfman, which were mainly due to weapon changes that I thought, which was basically me talking like I was originally going to like put an idea towards them, and then I thought they would take it on, and that would be that. But then they asked me like, what do you think of this? What do you think of that? And then Logibro came along, and I didn't really know too much about him apart from he was Gridorous beforehand. And when I think the relationship really started when he was doing the Prime League, because due to some technical mishaps, like he ended up running quite a lot of it, like from the get-go. So I was always talking to him then, and then after a while we played a few matches together, and then I said, I want to do this tournament, I want to do that tournament, how can we do this? And then we started working together from that, and then we're going to do that again sooner rather than later for the next tournament.
So it sounds a lot like you basically already are a CPM member.
Yeah, what Genza and Hans Jagelitz and one of the two of the current CPM members have said, don't judge people how they want to be, like what they say they're going to do or what they promise. Is look what they've already done. And I've always like wanted, same with the CSM beforehand, I've known a few people from the current CSM and the previous CSM, like Prometheus, Mangala, Solaris, Celine, and I've always talked to them every so often and say, you know, it'd be cool, stuff like that. And that carried on into Dust, so I did a spot of bug hunting in the closed beta, and currently with Genza, yourself, Logibro, and always keep them up to date, saying like, this maybe needs to be tweaked, this needs to be fixed. So I've already done that, so I thought that I'm doing as much as I can now. If I can do that while under an NDA with CPM along other like-minded people, it would be much more effective, good things will happen, etc., etc.
So I guess my last question would be, what do you think you're going to get out of the CPM?
I think being able to work as a team alongside CCP, helping shape it. I hope I'd get I would put a lot of input into it and help shape mainly mapping and weapons, because I'm quite an avid fan of first-person shooters. I've done Halo, a bit of Call of Duty, Tribes 1, 2, Ascent, Vengeance, which wasn't very good. So I'm quite experienced in that regard. So I've always done input on weapons and things like that before. So giving input on that would be my main input, and also things like events, like the Templar event. I'd like to see something like that run much more often. So I'd like to provide input on that. And also to strengthen a relationship with CCP, improve the CPM for CPM2, maybe even run for CPM2 depending how it goes. And if not, then helping the new CPM integrate with CCP.
Okay, I think that's everything for tonight. Is there any last thoughts you'd like to share before we wrap this up?
I guess check out the council page on the forums where most of the early runners for the CPM are. Read them all. More importantly, ask questions to see. Like, don't just read like, are they going to promise this and that? Ask what they've done, what their stances are on things to get a more read. And keep your mind open. If you think that I'm a good candidate, vote for me.
Okay. Thank you, Charlie, for taking the time. And
Welcome.
I guess to everybody listening, thanks for listening, and have a good evening.